Almost live from the Herbert I. Greenberg Studios at WHIG, it's Up Late with Sam Bass.
Thank you, Scott Smith. Good evening and welcome to Up Late with Sam Bass. We have a lot to talk about tonight in tonight's episode, but you should know that the writer's strike is still going strong. So tonight, our monologue is entirely AI generated. Artificial intelligence, folks, has taken over. Not really, not yet at least. Tonight, City Councilman and Mayor Pro Tem Tj Walker is here, and he's out there sitting in the Serpro Green Room as we speak. Serpro, Rocky Mount Tarboro, they sponsor our Green Room. Great folks over there, by the way. So if you've been watching the news for the last couple weeks, you know there's a lot of crazy stuff happening. Some of it funny, some of it scary, some of it downright just gross and disgusting. So I'm going to share my thought on that. Oh, wait a minute. I think I just had a Mitch McConnell moment right there. I might have been buffering. Where was I? Oh, news. Okay, back to it. So a few people around town think they may have seen a UFO in Rocky Mount the other night, right here in Nash County. Fighting Crime News is saying that it was just the SpaceX Starlink satellite train. I don't know what that is, but that's what they're saying it is. But I'm thinking there might be a little bit more to the story. Now, I'm not usually one to jump on board with a UFO conspiracy theory, but I have been experiencing some weird symptoms here lately. So I did a little research and I found out a lot of my symptoms may actually be indicators of alien abduction. So I have compiled the top 5 things that you might experience if it's an alien abduction. All right, the top 5, here they are. Number 5, sleepwalking. Okay, guilty as charged. Yeah, I had a drink one night. I typically have my normal bourbon, but I decided it was a weeknight. I'm going to go a little crazy, fixed a martini, and I really think it just disagreed with my system. That's what I'm thinking. I got up in the middle of the night, walked around the house, fell down, got up, went back to bed, and didn't remember any of it. And I asked my wife the next day why I felt so sore. She said, probably because you fell down and busted your rear end in the middle of the night. Don't you remember? So she accused me of drinking too much, but I remember none of it. So maybe my body was just rejecting the martini as opposed to having my regular bourbon. Number 4, a feeling of being watched. Yes, I have that often, especially since my little stalker, Pam Plays Pickleball at yahoo.com, started sending me those creepy emails and those creepy gifts. Number 3, implants. I think I'm pretty good there. Wait a minute. There's something, no, that's not the wrong kind of implant, I'm sorry. It says actually metallic or stone implants. I was thinking something else. Maybe it wasn't just water weight I'm feeling there. Number 2, waking up in a different place. So I want to go ahead and apologize to my dog Penny. I'm not sure why the aliens sent me into your bed the other night instead of mine. Oh no. Maybe they were a little bit confused. Maybe, possibly. And the number 1 sign that you may have been abducted by aliens is missing time and memory gaps. That's like a Mitch McConnell thing. No, it's not. Now that I think about it, I did lose a big chunk of time. The other night, I remember I was sitting in my chair watching a rerun of the show on WHIG. So it had to be 10-something, I'm thinking. When I woke up, I was in my dog Penny's bed, somewhere after 2 a.m. And a large portion of my bourbon was missing. So I'm thinking the aliens must have drank my bourbon, and that's why they were confused and put me back in my dog's bed instead of mine. So much for higher intelligence. So, and also, you might remember that our video that was the big reveal video that we had prior to the show coming on, you know, it was finally announced I was going to be the host, there was actually a UFO and aliens in it. Coincidence? Maybe. Maybe not. Speaking of weird things in the sky, did you hear about the Delta flight on its way to Barcelona that had to turn around the other week? Well, one of the passengers apparently had explosive diarrhea and tracked it up and down the aisle of the plane. Delta Airlines called it an onboard medical emergency and a biohazard issue, no question. But I'm just going to call it a really stinky situation because I can't say another word. I'll say stinky. Both for the passenger with the diarrhea and the other passengers and crew members. You know, one of Delta's slogans is Delta is ready when you are. Well, apparently they weren't quite ready for this. Nobody's ready for this. No, when I was thinking, I wouldn't think anybody would ever want this to happen, but let's just be glad it didn't happen on an American Airlines flight. One of their slogans was something special in the air. It was definitely something special, all right. So after the plane landed, maintenance crews spent about 5 hours cleaning everywhere and everything before the passengers, including the one with the diarrhea, were allowed to reboard. They should have just called Jonathan over at ServPro. You know, like they say in the commercials, whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that. Anyway, speaking of messes, let's get back to the Mitch McConnell thing for a moment. For the second time in a month, a senator appeared to freeze at the podium when asked a question by the reporter. The last occurrence lasted for nearly 30 seconds. The senator was eventually led away by his aides, and soon after that was spotted boarding a Delta flight to Barcelona. I'm just kidding about that part. It wasn't actually him, as far as we know. We'll be right back with TJ Walker.
When you're the leader in disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Let it rain, Randy! Woo! Yes! By being prepared for anything! Woo! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
Hey, welcome back. I'm sitting here with my good friend, Rocky Mount Councilman of Ward 4, Mr. Tj Walker.
Yes, sir.
Always good to see TJ. I see him around town all the time, which is a great thing. Great guy, really good in the community. Appreciate everything you do, TJ.
Thank you.
So we're gonna start off with a little game here. Just a kind of get to know TJ game.
Got it.
All right.
Let's do it.
So my research team has come up with a list here of true or false things that could supposedly be about you.
Okay.
True or false. I'm gonna let you answer them. Some of the answers I know and some I don't.
Got you.
Okay? Are you ready?
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Are you sure?
Let's do it.
All right. The first thing, true or false statement. You majored in mathematics.
False.
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 All right.
Yeah, I majored in psychology.
Psychology. So all this talking I'm doing, you can kind of analyze what I'm talking about over here.
Oh, even if you don't talk.
Well, I guess in politics you have to kind of know some psychology.
That's it.
I'm sure that's a very important tool in your tool belt.
Most definitely.
So where'd you get your college at?
North Carolina Central University in Durham, North Carolina.
Okay, well, I did see you you were out at the Down East Classic. I saw the pictures
yeah.
of you out there with the guys.
It was great.
Was that your fraternity?
It's my fraternity, yeah. Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
I saw you guys out there, like you were having a good time.
Great time.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to the second thing. You are actually a cigar aficionado. Don't answer because I already know the answer. We're going to get back to that in a minute.
All right.
Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, the third thing, true or false? You own a rental car company.
True.
True?
I do own a rental car company. I actually rent it out of Station Square, downtown Rocky Mount. And I've had it for going on 4 years now.
I did not know that.
Yep.
How is it I don't know that, TJ?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, I've learned something tonight.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next one. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. You have a pet tarantula named Harry.
False. Never had a pet tarantula. Only pet I've ever had, well, actually I had a few pets. Had a few dogs in my lifetime. Of course, a goldfish. I think everybody's had a
Everybody's
goldfish.
killed a few goldfish.
That's it.
Right.
I had to flush my first one down the
Oh,
toilet.
of course.
And I think a turtle and a hermit crab.
Okay. No tarantulas at the
No
Walker
tarantulas.
household? I wouldn't think so. But Harry's a good name, actually, because they're kind of hairy
it.
looking. Okay. I'm kind of glad to hear you don't have a tarantula. I'd be worried about you a little bit. Okay, so here's the next one. True or false? You are the youngest elected official in Rocky Mount.
It's true. Youngest elected official in Rocky Mountain history. Yeah.
How old were you when you first elected?
I was 27.
27. Well, Jay Kelly's got to be pretty young in there, isn't he?
Yeah, he was actually 31, I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right much younger. So you said you were how long old?
27.
27. How long ago was that?
That was 4 years ago.
Okay.
2019, I believe now. Yeah, 2019. So.
I didn't know that. That's pretty neat, though.
You
The
know,
youngest.
It's
I
pretty
don't know if
cool.
anybody's going to beat that.
Pretty cool accolade. I'm trying to see if I can get an 18 or 19-year-old to come straight out of high school.
That might be kind of tough. I don't think
Yeah.
they have been around long enough to know what to do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Okay, here's another one. You have released a gospel album.
That's true. I've actually released one gospel album in 2014 entitled "It Is Time," and then I released a gospel single entitled "Focus" in
Wow.
2021, I believe. Yeah. 2021.
Wow, there's another thing I didn't know about you.
Yeah.
You're probably riding around the rental cars playing your gospel album CD.
Man, all the time.
I'm
man.
just kidding.
Things
But-
you go through in a rental car company, man.
I can imagine.
It'll make you say a little bit more than some gospel.
You might need some gospel,
Yeah,
right?
that's it. It's much
I know
needed.
people tear your stuff up.
Exactly.
Okay, going to move on to the next one. True or false? You are married to a former Hollywood actress.
You know, that's tough because she looks like one.
Okay.
But that's false. I am married, but it's not a Hollywood actress. Brianna Walker is my wife. She's actually head of school at Southside Academy. And we've been married since 2017.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And if you see her, you would think she is a Hollywood actress. Very, very, very beautiful
She
girl.
looks like it to me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. You definitely outkicked your coverage there.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, listen, okay, got a couple more. I know the answer to this, but I'm asking anyhow. You currently serve as a pastor.
True. I serve as pastor of First Baptist Church Weldon in Weldon, North Carolina.
Now, how long you been doing that?
I've been there since, I think this is 9 months now. Since January of this year I was installed. But I actually, I started maybe as the interim back in September of last year, or August of last year, or somewhere around that time.
Very cool.
Yeah, newly installed January 2023.
So I know we talked about this. Are you a lot louder in the pulpit?
At times, it just all depends.
Okay, so you're not
Yeah. I
shouting them down out there.
You know, maybe towards the end and the close of the message, I might
Right.
reach a climax. But
Got to get that point across, right?
That's it. You gotta
Don't just act here at church, take it outside the church, right?
You got to bring it on home.
That's right, that's right. Okay, here's another one. I'm almost done, I'm sorry. I know this is torture.
This is cool.
You won a youth golfing championship in 2010.
False. 2010, we won state championship for Rocky Mount Senior High School.
Okay, so you did win a championship, it just wasn't any golfing involved, a bigger ball.
I've never had a golf championship, and golf is actually, I'm okay, but I've got some work to do in golf.
Okay, so when Stanley Campbell gets the North Green going out there,
Oh man,
we'll get you out there and get it going.
plan to be out there every day if I
We can go out there together and see how many balls we can lose.
That's
Because I'm going to tell you, if I'm out there golfing, people need to be wearing helmets and hard hats.
That's it.
Because everybody's fair game, because I can hit it, I just don't know where it's going.
got you.
Okay? So here's another one. And I hope this is not true.
Yeah.
Because our friendship may ride on this very question.
Man.
You ready? You want to take a drink of your water?
Let me get a little water.
I might want to take a little sip of my drink. Okay. One of your favorite extracurricular activities is playing pickleball.
That's false.
All right.
Yeah, that's false.
So that's all for the true or false.
Right, that was cool.
Well, you know, I did want to get back to one we talked about, the cigar question.
Okay.
Let's get back to that for a minute. So you're like me. You love cigars,
Oh yeah.
fine cigars, and we're not talking about Tampas. How long have you been delving into the cigar hobby?
Oh man, so cigars I really probably strongly picked up cigars in 2012 maybe. Yeah, my second year of college.
Okay.
And ever since then, you know, my dad introduced me to him at an early age, sort of just watching him smoke, and then from there I just fell in love with it.
Have you seen the video with Steve Harvey talking about a cigar is yoga to him?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's the relaxation process of smoking a cigar that people, my wife says all it is it stinks, but some people love the smell of a cigar. But it is a relaxation mode because you can't sit down and smoke a cigar in 5 minutes.
No.
I mean, it's a good hour out of your life, but it's a good time to just sit down and take it easy. Like Steve Harvey said, it's like yoga.
That's it.
It's relaxation to me.
Very therapeutic.
So do you have a favorite high-end cigar that you buy?
High end, maybe the Padron, 1969 series maybe, or 29 series. Probably Padron.
So what folks don't understand, when I say high-end cigars, I'm talking about a cigar that's $30 or $40 or more. And they can be higher than that. And again, people don't understand how you can take a match and burn that. But there's definitely a difference in them.
Oh man, especially with a good steak, a good lobster tail.
Exactly. I mean, we're kindred here, man. So do you have one? I've got one that I use, kind of a cheapie. Like every day, if it starts raining, I don't mind putting it out. Do you have one like that you'll from time to time smoke?
I do. Probably H. Upman the Banker. I could probably have that any day. All day. Yes, and I like anything H. Upman, AJ Fernandez. That's a good every day for me.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you, TJ was really good to me last Christmas. I had mentioned a certain cigar to TJ I really liked, and he had ridden over to a cigar establishment nearby and actually found a cigar that we were talking about.
Yeah.
And brought it back to me and gave it to me as a really nice Christmas present.
Oh man.
And I held on to that cigar for a while.
Okay.
And keep in mind, this was last Christmas. And I just recently had a birthday, and on the night of my birthday, I sat out and had my drink and my cigar.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to tell you, this cigar is head and shoulders above most cigars in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
Cubans consider it as well.
Yeah.
Really good cigar, and really appreciate you doing that. It was a very thoughtful gift. And
anytime, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You introduced me to it. Yes, sir.
So we're going to move on past this, and we're going to talk a little bit about your gospel project.
Okay.
So how did that come about that you started doing that?
Man, I've been singing since the age of 4, Sam. So I think singing is just a gift that God has given me and a gift that I've had. And once I got to college, I met some amazing musicians, producers. And I grew up with my dad and granddad always in music. And, you know, we decided this project. I was actually working at Food Line at the time when I was in college. And I would be on the job, you know, at that time, the wired headphones, there were no AirPods. And I would just have beats playing all the time. And I was thinking of different songs, and I would record it in my phone just to give me a gist of, okay, this is the chorus or hook for the song. And we actually recorded it in my apartment. My first album was recorded in my apartment. You can find it anywhere today.
That is pretty neat.
Yep.
So are you planning on doing another album?
I am actually working, so I just released a single in 2021 entitled Focus. So the actual project that's coming from is called Growing Pains. And so I'm looking to hopefully release that maybe 2024.
You're like me, I'm a person that loves music. I love listening to music and I love playing music. It's just, that's a big part of my life.
Yeah.
And if you're a person that doesn't play any music, you don't really understand it. I'm just saying that you don't. You may understand it, but it's fun to do.
Oh, yeah.
It's enjoyable. So where can the audience, if the audience wanted to find your CD, Where would they go? Is it an iTunes thing?
iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, anywhere you can find digital distributions or distributors of music, you can find the It Is Time project. And just search TJ Walker, It Is Time.
Okay, I am going to, I almost said check it out. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to look it up. We don't say check it out around here.
Yeah, no pun intended.
So another thing you really like is basketball. Now, playing, watching, coaching, what is it?
All the above. I've sort of backed away a little bit from coaching because my two sons, they play. My daughter played too. That's the last time I think I coached. Coached a 3-year-old team for the city of Rocky Mount.
3-year-olds?
Oh man,
I bet that was a time.
I'm telling you, it was definitely a learning experience. But I've coached my sons from birth up until their ages, maybe a couple years back, pre-COVID, which they're 13 and 10 now, 13 and 11 now. But I watch it. Duke's my favorite basketball team. LeBron James, my favorite basketball player. Of course, Rocky Mount Senior High, I'm always going to support our Griffons, and I just went down to watch the Lady Griffons go to state championship.
Well, I can tell you you always look fit, so you got to get out there and
I'm trying
burn
to.
those calories.
I'm picking up some weight, man. If I can stay away from those oyster rolls.
Oh yeah, no, don't stay away from those. You got to come to those. So you are an up and coming leader in the area. What made you want to ever consider running for office?
Man, so my family's sort of been in politics all my life. First time I actually campaigned, I think I was 9 years old. My mom's dad was running for school board in Edgecombe County. Then my dad's father is actually first African-American county commissioner in Edgecombe County. And so just being around it, and once I went to college, I had a college professor, and I asked him, hey, what do I need to do to make a difference in my community? I'm going back home after college, and he said, you can start a nonprofit, you can start a nonprofit or get into local politics. So I said, all right, and I started watching City of Rocky Mount politics while I was actually in college, just looking at how things were going, looking at the city, and I felt like, there was not really a voice for young people on the council. I think everybody was, at the time when I joined, I was 27, and the next youngest council member may have been 57.
Oh boy.
So seeing that there was a 30-year gap, I was like, hey, there's no way we can have leadership that doesn't represent my age group, my generation, because time's changing so fast.
Right.
And I felt like there were some things that I could really bring to the table to help move the city forward.
Yeah.
And so far it's been enjoyable.
Yeah, you've done a great job.
Thank you.
Is there any accomplishment that you're most proud of that's happened since you've been a part of the city council?
Well, everything I think on a daily basis is really most important. Just being there for constituents, just knowing that they know I'll answer their calls, they'll know I'll be there to help and serve them. But my largest project is probably the National Guard Armory, Boys and Girls Club. That's been deeded over to them. I think when I was first on the National Guard Armory probably sat dormant maybe 20 years. And so coming back and being able to see some progressive movement on that was huge.
That was a big thing.
And they'll be turning that into a teen center. So it's going to be very, very influential project in the community.
That's important stuff. So where do you see your long-term future in politics? Are you going to take it further? Maybe run for attorney general, governor, something like that one day?
Man, president will be nice.
There you go. I mean, go for the top, right?
That's it. That's it.
We'd love to have you up there right now, I'll tell you the truth.
Oh, man.
I don't think, these guys in politics now are so old.
Yeah.
I mean, on both sides of the aisle.
Oh, yeah.
And, the whole Mitch McConnell thing, we were talking about that earlier. I mean, it's scary to see these people at the ages they are up there. They need some young blood.
Gotta have it. Gotta have it.
So speaking of the governor, I wanted to ask you, we had some pictures of you and Governor Cooper.
Yeah.
And it was during the aftermath of the tornado a couple months ago. And you, it's like you all were talking about, he was talking to you about some sunglasses you were wearing. And I think he actually taught you about getting a pair of those glasses. You told him where to get them.
Yes, sir.
What was the brand, the name of the brand?
It was actually Bougie Luxury. It's a classmate of mine, so everybody knows. Well, maybe not everybody, but Governor Cooper's actually a Northern Ash grad. I went to Northern Ash before I graduated. Before I went to transfer to Rocky Mount to graduate. And so a classmate of mine from Northern is actually his brand. So I was just sharing that with the governor as he asked about the glasses, and
Okay.
he wanted to make sure he got a pair, so we sent him a couple pair.
Okay, so he did get a pair.
I hope so. I know they were sent.
Because the pictures we have of y'all, he looks like he could use a pair
Oh yeah.
of sunglasses.
Was he squinting?
Yes. So, don't want to get too much into politics, but do you have a slogan, a campaign slogan?
My campaign slogan is YEP, YEP. Stands for Youth Development, Economic Development, and partnering with local law enforcement.
That's outstanding. So I remember a slogan one time, it was like, I'll do my best, but I can't promise anything. That's not very good.
That's not a good one.
That's kind of like saying, well, it's honest at least, you can say that.
Yeah.
It's like, I promise to under-promise and over-deliver. Or over-promise and under-deliver.
Yeah.
Either one of those, neither one of them is good.
Yeah, that's it.
So, okay, I've got one more question,
Okay,
and it's a random question.
got you.
You ready?
Ready.
This is going to be tougher than the true or false,
Okay,
because you have to actually answer. You can't say true or false.
got it.
Okay. We were talking about aliens and UFOs and all that earlier. So if aliens were to land in Rocky Mount as an elected official, what would you do?
Figure out where they need to stay.
You'd rent them a car.
I said, oh, definitely. You gotta have some transportation. Well, I don't know. They may have UFOs.
They got a little bit better transportation than we
That's
do.
it. That's it.
Okay.
They gotta
Well,
step up from the Tesla.
That's right. That's right. They got to get out of electric and get them some gas, right?
That's it.
Listen, TJ, man, it's been great having you, man. I always enjoy spending time with you. We need to spend more time together. We always talk about getting together and smoking a cigar. We're going to eventually get there.
We gotta do it.
And I'd like to thank you for coming on and taking your time and your valuable time and spending it with us tonight.
Thank you for having me, Sam.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hey, I want to thank my guest tonight, Councilman Tj Walker. He's a fine young man, really good guy. I want to thank him for coming on tonight. Our next episode, we're going to have a longtime friend of mine, retired Admiral and Top Gun pilot Mike Manazar will be here in person. He's going to tell you about his storied career as a naval aviator and also being captain of the USS Nimitz, among many other accomplishments. So that's a big episode. Make sure you tune in, and tune in every Thursday night at 10 right here on WHIG for Up Late with Sam Bass. I'll see you soon.